Alright, folks, this is Rabble Rousing. Richard Bergeron.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to Vegas in less than 12 hours. Is the tornado turning panic out?
And Psychic Tom Paget. This crystal ball ready to go.
Alright, well, I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold situation, if you can't tell. But, we got some stuff to backtrack on, stuff to preview. Oh, we've got 2 weeks worth of stuff, but we're going to try to skim over the old results and get to the upcoming stuff real quick. Unfortunately, we got 4 different events to talk about from MMA, because we got 2 Bellator UFC last week, Bellator UFC this week. As far as boxing goes, we got a lot of stories on boxing. Your buddy Danny the Stuntman Wheeler told me he's talking about making a comeback. That's in the news this week.
Really?
Andre Ward just did a little bit of a tease. I guess his lawsuit against Lloyd's of London isn't going so well there with his insurance policy. He is hinting he's coming out of retirement. And he posted an image. It looked like he was training, covered in sweat, and basically looks like a lot bigger than he used to be. So he has not lost a step as far as physique, I guess. And it's fueling a lot of fans, encouraging him to come back. He's got his old boxing gloves on.
You know, like a few months ago, did the color commentary in Philadelphia, play card about that, and the thing is, I don't think I you guys because we didn't do the show last week. But a couple of weeks ago, I had to go to my Center City office in Philadelphia because my was closed. So I go down there, and I understood they opened a boxing fitness gym underneath my building. So I got to go check this out. So I went down there at lunch, and it was a fitness center. You know, they had girls there. You know, they had a room full of bags. They had bags and treadmills, and it was, they had the music pumping. I mean, I was down there around 1 o'clock. I mean, they had a full packed house there. And I'm talking to one young lady who was kind of like giving me a rant. And she told me, yeah, we had this one guy here. They had a bunch of Philly fighters on the wall. Bernard Hopkins, Joe Frazier, Danny Garcia, so on and so forth. And she said, yeah, we had this one guy here last month. He was a world champion, and he came in and did a podcast here. His name was Andre something. I'm like, Andre Ward? She goes, I think it was it. I'm like, it makes sense. He was in Philly doing the commentary. So I pull up the one photo of me telling you,
missed him.
I'm going to look again, because as of the other day when I signed up for the Fan Expo, he wasn't confirmed yet, but I hope he is. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how long they stay when they get confirmed, but I mean, literally every year they send me every single person that gets approved and will be there. They send me a press release, so it's like, obviously they made a commitment to, at least be waving to people or hanging around or something. I don't know. I don't know how approachable they are, whether they're going to have like booths set up, like you said, whether they're going to be charging for autographs or what the situation is. But basically, I think it's been going on since like at least 2005. I want to say 2006, maybe. And I always thought it was funny because when you hear Box Fan Expo, you're thinking like, oh geez, what is this? A bunch of box fans? Like like they don't say boxing, like.
I mean, a lot of the guys that are confirmed, I mean, looks pretty awesome. And Vinny has tweeted something about it, and I responded. He responded back to me, so I had him out there. And my friend Mike, talking to him last week at his house to bring dinner over for him and his wife for his birthday. And he goes, it's so cool out, you can get them. And Vinny Paz liked the photo of me and your son. He goes, wow, that's so cool. You got Hulk Hogan retweeting my son, and Vinny Paz liking the photo of him.
That's awesome. Yep. The internet makes people famous. It's good stuff. Wow. Animals too, right? Anyway, another guy who is officially coming out of retirement from the MMA world, Tito Ortiz. I just can't keep out of it. He beat the crap out of Chuck Liddell, and now he actually signed a deal with this group called Combate Americas, which is kind of funny because it's got a main partner who is a creator of the UFC, Kimball McLaren, from way back in the early days, before the UFC.
Wow, that is way back. That's in the SEG days.
Yes.
Wow.
So, 44 years old, Ortiz is currently on a 2-fight win streak, but this is probably the biggest win streak in a long time for him. And in the last days of his UFC career, he was on a 3-fight losing streak. And he went with Bellator for a little bit, and then suffered his first loss under their banner to Liam McGeary for the light heavyweight title. 2 years later, he faced Chael Sonnen, won the fight by first-round submission, and then supposedly retired, then came back, fought Liddell, a grudge match, and Liddell looked like crap, which just made me feel sad that I vouched for him. I thought he was going to do much better. But anyway, yeah, this is obviously a smaller talent pool, but younger, hungrier, more dangerous opponents, I would think. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good move or a bad move. We'll find out. Well, that's the retirement section of the news. Anyway. So, in the boxing world, we had a big fight last week. Saturday was Robert Easter Jr. and Rances Bartholomew, guy I saw a bunch of times in Vegas. Well, a couple times, not a bunch of times.
I heard it was a bit of a show.
I guess not. It was a draw. Majority draw, and or split draw, I think. Anyway, yeah, I guess it's a matter of, it looks good on paper, and it evens out in the ring.
What's that was look impressive again, he's got that, very technical Cuban style. He can really be difficult to give an impressive performance, and as much as I like Robert Easter, he can be hot and cold too. Right.
Yeah, Rances has a very odd style. And once Ardenas Mendez, I think it was Mendez. It was find out in a second. The guy that we actually had his promoter on after the fact. Who was the guy? It was a tight decision. Was it Ardenas Mendez? Back in 2014. Yeah, it was Ardenas Mendez. No decision. No. It was this guy from Afghanistan that he fought. And it was a tight fight. And it was early on in his career. And we actually had Warriors Boxing's promoter on after the fight. I argued with him personally that his fighter lost the fight. Yeah, he gave it the college try for his guy, but just, yeah, it was a bad one. And I always thought that was I think it was a Rashu's money, his second fight. But he never looked back after that, and he's been climbing the ranks and fighting big names, and lost to Kirill Relic. That was his first loss last March. And this one was a big step up for him. But obviously, on paper, they both pretty identical almost, except for a few more wins on Bartholomew's side. And split draw, so kind of predictable. But
not only was it the split draw result, but I just heard like the overall action just was not up to par. The styles did not mesh.
Yeah.
Which
Well, I always noticed with Francis that he's more of a counterpuncher and defensive artist when he's at his best, and really he has to know that he has a supreme advantage before he gets too aggressive and tries to go for a knockout or a stoppage. And early on in his career, when I watched him at the Cosmopolitan, he was matched. One time it was outdoors against a guy, and one time it was indoors, and both times he just wanted to finish as early as possible, and he knew he was overmatched against the guy, and which is what they do for guys that are talented. Early on in their career, they want to pad up their records, and they throw them in with the easy guys. But actually, he had the privilege of fighting Usmani, who was 20-0 in his second fight, so that was pretty tough of him. And that was a close fight, so he was tested early, and then never fought him again. But he had the two close fights with Mendez too. That was another one. But definitely a tough kid. He's got a lot of promise, but he just needs a little bit more aggressiveness, I guess. And Easter Jr. obviously had a lot to prove in this one, and didn't really meet expectations either. So both of them probably have a little bit work to do in the gym to figure that out. We also had Victor Postal getting the win last Saturday over Muhammad Mamoon. Regis Prograis beating Kirill Relic. Just talked about him, actually. And Guadalupe Martinez Guzman beating Jessica Chavez last Saturday. Also last Friday, Jesse Vargas got a win over Humberto Soto, and Daniel Roman beat T.J. Doheny. And then we go to the fight that Tony might know something about, I think. I think he's done a little bit of research on it. Coming up this weekend. A guy named Canelo. I don't know. What does that mean, Tony? Canelo? What is that? Is that some kind of nickname of his? Canelo Alvarez and Daniel James.
If you go back and you read the preview, when I was like, the intro, I was like, cause I kind of did a play off their nicknames, because it's Canelo Alvarez, which stands for cinnamon, and Daniel the Miracle Man Jacobs, because of basically the miraculous recovery from bone cancer. So I said, can Alvarez deliver a performance with a little extra cinnamon sprinkled on top, or will Jacobs pull out another miracle of his storybook career, or something like that?
Well, I mean, it was kind of interesting, the article that Tom sent. When you look at your article that says Alvarez is going to cruise to the decision, we're gonna post that right after the show. So if you're listening to this, you go to FightNewsUnlimited.com. You're going to see Tony's computerized analysis. He uses 7 computers tapped into his brain to create these articles. He processes everything, past records, punches, word on the street. He calls up 17 people, gets their opinion. No, it's all Tony's the Rain Man Boxing. Call him that for a reason, and he gets him pretty close. And he's got the scores and everything of the judges, so it's how serious he takes it.
And here's the thing, man. I mean, sometimes, I've been right to almost like the second pitch. I mean, sometimes I've called upsets that people didn't see. And then there were sometimes I've been so atrociously wrong it's not even funny. A couple of the complaints was Pacquiao De La Hoya. I had the right round. I just had a completely wrong victor. Hopkins and Kelly Pavlik. I mean, Hopkins looked really spent in his fight before that, and I thought Pavlik was just going to outwork him. And Hopkins made him look like an amateur. The Pacquiao fight 4 years ago today. I thought it would be a lot closer than it was, and the judges would award Pacquiao a kind of a controversial decision, and just set the trilogy. This one I had wrong, but a lot of other ones I had right.
Yeah, and I believe you got this one right, even though it hasn't happened yet. And the thing that makes me swayed is just the experience factor and what he has to lose, Paul Alvarez. And the article that Tom said, kind of is funny to kind of sink yourself into that kind of a conspiracy that the judges are so worried about their pervasive bias that they're gonna rule the other way, like reverse psychology. That's what it's the article. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't see it.
I don't know if that's going to happen. But Alvarez, obviously, it's Mexican Independence Weekend. Cinco de Mayo. He is DAZN's big poster boy. And, he's just got so much to lose if he doesn't get this win here. And, obviously he's 51 in Floyd Mayweather. So, that's a pretty good record going against a guy who's lost recently. This guy hasn't lost recently. He had one draw recently. That was it.
And he had lost to Golovkin. That was very close. That was a couple years ago. I mean, and that was not a solid knockdown. It was really the difference in that fight.
I could see this going to, a close decision, very close decision, but I could also see Saul running away with it. But I don't think it's more like Saul, like that article was saying that Saul Alvarez actually needs a knockout. I think it's more like Jacobs needs a knockout.
Yeah, no, right. And it just comes down to this. They asked this question: is it really possible that the same three judges who scored a unanimous decision victory for Canelo over Gennady Golovkin in a rematch can really favor Canelo once more in a close tactical battle fought over 12 rounds? Well, the answer to that is yes. Because there are no consequences. Jacobs could win 8 rounds going away. It won't matter. That's my prediction on it. I mean,
Tony,
I'm wrong. When you look at Adelaide Bird, after that travesty, not only did Bob Bennett defend her, but a month later she was ruining more fights.
Yeah.
And she to this day, she could have been installed for this one. There are no consequences, and I don't think the judges care about their legacy. Who remembers the judges? People like us do.
He should make Gennady Golovkin
we're kind of fanatics
judge.
on this.
He's fought both of them.
Yeah, so that's my take on it. All Canelo has to do is hang in there.
Yeah. Well, Tony, did you find out in your vast research if Saul Alvarez has been eating those Mexican beef, that Mexican beef, that homegrown Mexican beef, with the good steroids in it?
One thing, I was joking around with a gentleman at the gym last night. Played the NFL for a couple of years, big offensive lineman, right? And he's originally from the Brooklyn area of New York, right? And so he is very familiar with Danny Jacobs, and we were saying, what we think he needs to do to win this fight, and he's really, going to have to go out there and dominate, But you're right. There was always that possibility of, the reverse psychology where the judge is like, because they've gotten so much flack in the past, or sometimes the judge expects something. I guess it's human nature. You expect something, for a guy to be doing so well, and even if he's winning, but he's not doing as well as you expect, you sometimes reward the opponent for, even if he's not winning, because the other guy's not doing as well.
Right. Like you got to take it from the champ mentality, like.
Yeah, pretty much. But we joked, me and this guy Andrew joked, we're like, the officials could be so bad up there, and I would never say anything bad at Tony Weeks, because I think he's a fantastic referee, but as our kind of...
I rode on the elevator with him at the Cosmopolitan, actually.
Jacobs could starch Canelo with a single shot, knock him out cold. They would pick Canelo up and disqualify Jacobs for hitting him too hard.
Right. But I think Alvarez is just so bulky, he's got such a good chin. I don't think he's going down. So Jacobs really has to have a really smart runaway game plan and use his reach. I just don't see that happen. I see him trying to make it a fight and trying to knock him out, and that's going to work in Alvarez's favor. So I think he might be spot on. But we'll find out.
And I think even if it is a horrendous decision, guess what will happen the next time Canelo fights? Everybody's going to be tuning in. There's no downside. There is no downside. And this article is so astute in saying DAZN has too much money. There's too much at stake here. And I just don't think that it would matter. Because every one of these outrages, and here we are again. And they know this. So
Tony, will you be visiting a sports book while you were in the Vegas vicinity to confirm your hunches?
Very likely, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to throw in a few different things, and I might just drop a little bit here, a little bit there. You know.
Awesome.
Well, what are the odds now?
A friend of mine messaged me today, and he thinks they're 4-1, Canelo.
Wow.
Oh. He said he's calling in 100 on Jacobs.
There you go. And Psychic Tom, how come you told Tony about the scratch tickets, but you didn't tell me? Wins the $5,000 on a scratch ticket. Said he learned it from you.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah.
You said something about a scratch-off ticket?
Yeah, $5,000, right?
What about it?
You won, right?
I won, yes. 5,000. I never said dollars.
5,000 pennies?
5,000 pennies.
Yeah, $50. I just do a noise of a joke.
So you got me. I was like, damn, he's going to have a good Vegas trip. That's a good one. Yeah. That reminds me of the U-Haul boss there. There was a story that went viral on Facebook that his wife threw these 7 puppies into a rescue program. Rottweilers. They all had like funky diseases. They had displaced hips, and this guy's a billionaire, and his wife just dumps all these things on the humane place there, and expects them to pay for everything. So the woman went on social media, and the lady texted her back something like, "Oh, I won't send you one copper penny." So then the husband ended up having to pay $13,000. So the woman that got him to pay ended up saying, "Oh yeah, they paid 16 million pennies today." Copper pennies. So she got him. That's funny. Anyway, we also have like 4 other belt fights on your same card there out at the T-Mobile Arena there in Vegas, Tony. So you're gonna get a shitload of action to absorb there. In addition to the festivities of Box Fan Expo. We have co-main event super middleweights. Bilal Akawi, who's 20-0-1. And John Ryder, who's 27-4 for the interim World Boxing Association World Super Middleweight title. And we got the odd man out, the only fight that's not for a belt. Super lightweights Virgil Ortiz Jr., who's 12-0, undefeated against Mauricio Herrera, who is 24-8, and 3 of those 8 is in his last 6. So tough slate of fights there. Last few. And then we have Lamont Roach, super featherweight, 18-0-1, fighting Jonathan Oquendo, who is 30-5. That's for the WBO International Super Featherweight title and the WBO NABO Super Featherweight title. Then we have Saddam Ali, 27-2 at welterweight, fighting Anthony Young, who is 20-2 for the vacant WBC United States Silver welterweight title. And then the final fight, featherweights, Francisco Esparza, 9-0-1, fighting Aram Avagyan, who is 8-0-1. So there's somebody's always got to go fight. And that's for the WBC International Silver Featherweight title. Silver titles, gotta love them. I just wonder how they fit some of these title names on the belt. Very fine print, I guess. Alright, so we also have some other fights going on around the world, in addition to that card. Here's one from Stockton, California. Actually, Bob Arum's going to be putting one on ESPN same night. Little counter programming. Super flyweights Jerwin and Sejas, who is 30 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, fighting Ryuichi Funai, who is 31-7 for the IBF World Super Flyweight title. And we have a light heavyweight fight. Artur Beterbiev, 13-0, fighting Radovoj Kalajic, who is 24-1 for the IBF World Light Heavyweight title there. And then another light heavyweight fight. Felix Valera, 17-2, fighting Mario Aguilar, 20-6. What was that, Tony?
No, nothing. That was my computer was popping something up.
So yeah, that's pretty decent 3-fight card there for ESPN. I guess it's regular ESPN. Doesn't say ESPN Plus. Yeah, USA, ESPN, Bob Arum. Trying to give us the free stuff. Let's see. So what else we got going on? I don't know if there's a mismatch league. It's pretty bad. Out there in the United Kingdom, we got a lightweight fight leading off this card. Joe Echo, he's 5-0, fighting Andy Harris, who is 368-1. Pretty ridiculous.
One draw.
Yeah. 68 losses. It's a tough one. Okay, let's see what else we got going on.
You know, I wonder what his wife says when he comes home after a fight. What, you win, right? Wow.
Did you lose? I swear there was another guy who was like over 40 somewhere. There always is. Alright, what else we got? I know we got another fight we're talking about somewhere here. Alright, there we go. Belgium has a fight. Belgium, cruiserweight fight. Joel Tambwe Djeko, 15-2-1, fighting Ricardo Snijders, who is 17-0 for the International Boxing Organization Intercontinental Cruiserweight title. And I don't know where they came up with this one, but Mohamed El Markouchi, he is 21-2, super lightweight, fighting Jean-Pierre Habamana, who is 9-16-3, and they're fighting for the vacant Benelux super lightweight title, whatever the hell is Benelux. Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, maybe, I guess. The Benelux super lightweight title. That's new. I have not heard of that one. I'm not making it up either. I promise. Alright. So what else we got? So, gotta get to some of the UFC stuff here. And this is... We're going to save one of last week's fights for the Bellator card, because we're going to have a little bit of discussion after that about one of the issues that came up in the main event. But last week we had UFC Fight Night 150, Jacare versus Hermanson. And we had a split decision, unanimous decision win for Hermanson. And Ronaldo Souza just kind of keeps having his ups and downs. 26-8 now. Hermanson moves to 21-4. And yeah. Oh, I didn't really get to see any of these fights, but I did read about it. Greg Hardy had finally a dominant win without a disqualification. He beat Dmitry Smolyakov by TKO from punches, 2 minutes and 15 seconds in. I didn't read too much about that, but Alex Oliveira and Mike Perry, boy, unanimous decision win for Mike Perry. I wouldn't have guessed that going into that, but yeah, that's what happened there. Did you get to watch any of these, Tom? No, both went blind on this one. Glover Teixeira also got a big win, a rear naked choke over Ion Cutelaba. And that was in the second round, 3 minutes and 37 seconds in. Corey Sandhagen beating John Lineker. Can't catch a break, I guess. Split decision there. Tough one. Roosevelt Roberts beating Thomas Gifford by unanimous decision. We had on the undercard Andre Arlovsky getting another loss against Augusto Sakai. Carla Esparza beating Verna Jandaroba by unanimous decision. Gilbert Burns over Mike Davis by rear naked choke, 4 minutes and 15 seconds into round 2. Jim Miller getting back into the win column over Jason Gonzalez by rear naked choke, one of his favorite moves. 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the first round. Then Angela Hill, Ultimate Fighter veteran there, beating Jody Escabel in the second fight of the night by unanimous decision. And another Ultimate Fighter guy, Diego Lima, got a win over an older generation Ultimate Fighter guy, Court McGee, by split decision. Ultimate Fighter on Ultimate Fighter crime. Anyway, big one coming up this weekend. Fight Night 151. And surprisingly enough, I read a headline today that baffled me. I didn't click on it to find out what it said, but supposedly Al Iaquinta and the UFC are on good terms now. Which is hard to believe. We heard some pretty crazy rants on Al Iaquinta's part, and obviously, he's got to patch men fences there to another event on favorable terms. They threw him in to the Wolf there against Khabib, but this time he's obviously got a full training camp fighting up in Canada here against Donald Cerrone. And both guys, very aggressive, very bold in your face, and this is going to be a good one. I mean, Al Iaquinta's record might look incomparable against 35-11 Donald Cerrone, but those 14 wins came against some tough guys, and the 4 losses, one of those is against Khabib, and nothing really he can't do here with Donald Cerrone coming into this fight. It's going to be a war, obviously. This is just both guys come to fight. Both guys will leave busted up if they have to, and this is definitely going to be a free fight of the year here. I can't wait to watch this one. I'm definitely not going to miss that. Co-main event, Derek Brunson versus Elias Theodorou. Brunson is 18-7. Theodorou is 16-2. What do you think about this main event, Tom? You got a prediction?
I like Gal slightly. Because it just, I think he's a little less sharp one. I mean, I know Cowboys look great as of late, but I just think it's Al's time.
It's Al's time. Okay. Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate and say Cerrone's got a few more tools in the toolbox, and Al can get frustrated if the fight's not going his way. So if it goes to decision, it's definitely going Cerrone's way. I'll give Al first 2 rounds. If he gets first 2 rounds and he can't knock him out, it's gonna go to decision. It's gonna go to Cerrone's favor, I think. But yeah, I think Al does have knockout power more than Cerrone. I just think Cerrone just mixes it up a little bit better. He throws a lot more kicks. He does a lot more unconventional stuff. And if he's prepared for this, I think he edges out. I can just experience-wise and wisdom with the game. But Al, you cannot discount Al's bullishness. They don't call him the raging bull for nothing.
I really think it's great matchmaking, though, because it could easily go in Cowboys' favor. So this is a tough one. Great matchmaking.
And Brunson versus Theodorou, I really don't know too much about either guy, but Brunson, I think the last fight I saw of him, he looked pretty dominant, so I don't know about that one. Elias, he's kind of a technical fighter, I think. He's really... Nothing I don't sit there and go, geez, I remember that Elias Theodorou fight. It was crazy, He's not one of those guys where it's just like, whoop, oh yeah, I know that guy. Cub Swanson is one of those guys. I used to always talk about why I didn't want to go into MMA. It's because of his fight against Jose Aldo, where he got demolished in like 16 seconds. But he is 25-10, still hanging on, fighting Shane Burgos here, who's 11-1. Then we got Brad Katona, 8-0, fighting Mirab Davalishvili, who is 8-4. Andrew Sanchez, 10-4, fighting Marc-Andre Barrio, who is 11-1. Walt Harris, 11-7, fighting Sergey Spivak, who is 9-0. We got a female fight in the middle. Sarah Morris, who is 5-4, fighting Macy Chason, who is 4-0. Vince Morales, fifth fight of the night, 8-3, fighting Aliman Zahabi, who is 7-1. Nordine Taleb, 14-6, fighting Kyle Prepelek, who is 12-5. Kyle Nelson, 12-2, fighting Matt Sales, who's 7-2. Arjan Singh Mueller, 8-1, fighting Juan Adams, who's 5-0. And in the first fight of the night, Mitch Gagnon, 12-4, fighting Cole Smith, who is 6-0. And of course, we also have a Bellator fight coming up this weekend. Same night as UFC, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right?
That's right.
Same weekend. This one's going to be in the United Kingdom, though, so it's probably going to be on a time difference with the UFC fights. Brett Primus. We have Fabian Edwards, 6-0, fighting Falco Nato Lopez, who's 11-9. And 0-1, Raymond Daniels, fighting Wilker Barros, who is 0-0. And Raymond is a big kickboxing guy. It's kind of a UFC, mixed martial arts experiment so far for him. We'll see if it starts to pay off with a win. We got Saul Rogers on the card, 12-2, fighting Aiden Lee, who's 7-3. Brian Moore, 11-7, fighting Bin Son Lee, who's 5-2. James Mulheron, 11-3, fighting Lee Chadwick, who's 24-14-1. And you gotta like this guy's name for a fighter, Jim Wallhead. He is 30-11. He has a wallhead. Giorgio Petrini is his opponent. He's 16-4-1. Wallhead. Dominique Wooding comes in at 5-2, fighting David Kalsa, who's 2-3. I'm gonna go through the whole rest of the cards. Probably like 17 more fights here. The United Kingdom is putting on a huge fight card there for Bellator. We'll be checking that out. I don't know if that's going to be on DAZN or Free TV this week. But the big one I wanted to talk about, Bellator 220. And then we'll get to another story before we close out the show about wrestling and MMA. But
Nice.
Rory MacDonald and John Fitch in the main event of Bellator 220 on last Saturday out in San Jose produced a puzzling result. It was a majority draw. And I believe Rory MacDonald got the one judge that ruled in his favor, so he kept his belt and moves on in the tournament that they're having. But it was his post-fight interview that made the news. And, it's just one of those tough issues that you get to your end of your career, and not only are you thinking about, should I retire, but here's this guy who's a, very Christian, religious type dude who's now starting to think, do I have the will to keep hurting people? It's a very interesting question for, any fighter, boxer, even wrestling. You can hurt people. The show type wrestling, the fake stuff. So, it's an interesting argument to make. And here he is, he's moving on in the tournament, and he's telling people in public, I don't know if I have the will to hurt people anymore. You don't even know what to say. It's like, I get it, but that's what you're paid to do, buddy. That's what you signed up for.
Yeah, that's the case, and you don't think you have that instinct anymore, that you have to get out now, because what will happen is you will end up getting hurt.
Right.
Exactly. Right on the money, buddy. It's a hurting business.
And John Fitch, I mean, his record 32-7-2 going into that fight. He's now contemplating retirement himself, wondering, whether he should continue. That might have been his last-ditch effort. He just got off a season with the professional fight league there, where they did the $1 million championship fights, and he didn't get into the $1 million round. So he ended up going right over to Bellator, and now big chance to be in another tournament, and he can't get past the first round. So he's talking about hanging it up, and for Rory to go out after that and say that he's basically feeling worse for the other guy than anything. It's like, yeah, you have to wonder whether you're. Yeah,
that fight was not really that fight was not a barn burner by any stretch. Fitch really gets some of the fans annoyed. You call him a human blanket. And one guy was saying in his house when it gets cold, he yells at his wife, "Can you get me the Fitch?"
Yeah, he's just definitely not entertaining as far as the style, but he's effective. And Dana White basically threw him out.
Tough.
Threw him out for just being not entertaining, not putting on a show. So he's always had to kind of fight that criticism. But very experienced, very crafty guy, and Roy MacDonald was fortunate in some ways to get past him. But obviously a very close fight, tough to judge. It is what it is. Now we've got this reality.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to look good against Fitch because he's so good at his takedowns, and he gets you down, and it's got to feel like an octopus has got you down, or a boa constrictor. Hard to get up from him, and yet he can't seem to finish a lot of times.
Yeah.
So you remember that Paul Daly when he fought Paul Daly.
Yeah.
Remember how that thing? Here's Daly
talking smack. Yeah. That was funny.
Never forget that one. And it's just tough. It's kind of like in boxing. I mean, if you got a guy that's a real slick boxer, there's not much excitement. You can't hit him, and he doesn't have a lot of power, but he's just going to pile up points.
And then we had one of the most brutal cuts I've seen in a co-main event in a long time of MMA. Leigh McFarland beat up Veda Arteaga there. Doctor had to stop it. 1 minute and 50 seconds into the third round, and it was a gash and a half, right to the skull, basically. Ugh. Brutal. TKO. Benson Henderson got back in the win column. A split decision win over Adam Piccolotti. Bill Davis broke Liam McGeary's jaw in the third round. 4 minutes and 11 seconds in. TKO, so rematch goes in Davis's favor. Gaston Bolanos also got a win over Nathan Stolen. TKO. How do you get a last name like Stolen? He stole it. Yeah. TKO, first round. 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
The decision was stolen from him.
Then we had two draws on this card. Eric Gunnar against Jonathan Adams, majority draw. Ignacio Ortiz against Roger Severson, a unanimous draw. Wow, that's rare. We also had Thomas Oswald fighting Jamario Mulder. It was a unanimous decision for Oswald. And then Chris Inocencio beat Boris Novichkov by split decision. I'm going to go through all the rest of them. But yeah, that was out in San Jose last week. And the other news I want to discuss is Brock Lesnar officially retiring from MMA.
Wow.
Yeah, Dana White says that Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier will fight again for the heavyweight title, and no chance that Brock Lesnar is coming back to MMA. Not a chance. Which leads me to believe one of two things. Either Brock Lesnar is intending to do a big wrestling deal very soon, or he's probably not wanting to fight in the UFC without a heavy regimen of stuff that he can't legally do. I hate to say that about the guy, but yeah, when you've been popped before, it's kind of hard not to. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had an adverse finding already, and he's just like, all right, well, I'm going to retire so it doesn't come out. Because I do believe he re-engaged in the program for testing, because he was serious about doing it. But you never know, too. He's always also had other health issues, which could be related to whatever he does. So maybe some of that resurfaced while he was doing the WWE thing. But I don't know. It's just one of those stories. The unwritten story, I guess, of what he's doing behind the scenes that would make him make that decision. We can't do it. But he certainly, when he strode into the ring there and pushed Daniel Cormier around, he made it look like it was going to happen. It seemed like it was more than just a show or a gimmick there, but nope, not going to happen. Not going to fight John Jones. Not going to come back to the UFC. He's retiring. What's your take on that, Tony? You think he's coming back to the WWE?
Well, I'm sure they're probably working out like a mega deal right now. Cause they're looking a couple years ago he was going to leave, and they were all expecting that he was going to drop the title at WrestleMania. And then they put like this swerve where he signed a new deal. He won. He kept the title at WrestleMania. And he stayed for like 2 more years. So he could have been using that as a leverage, to get himself, a better deal. Because, a lot of guys and fans have criticism because he's only there every so often. He only wrestles big events. He doesn't do the non-televised shows or stuff like that very infrequently. But at the same time, if you're a draw, you're a draw. And if you're helping bring in money to the card, everybody benefits.
Right. Well, it's definitely one to think about. Now, what about this all elite wrestling? You think they're making a play for him?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, they would have to really throw out a really sweet deal. But, I mean, never say never.
All right. So, I guess wrap-up time. So we got your big trip coming up. How many hours now, Tony?
We're now down to 11 hours and 6 minutes till my plane takes off.
Awesome.
Where are you guys staying, Tony?
The Luxor, the Egyptian pyramid-looking one.
Okay.
A friend of mine, she used to do flyers promotions out in Philly, and then she used to do ring car girls for Peltz Boxing. Well, she moved to Vegas, I guess, 6, 7 years ago, and she was doing something with Bacardi. So when I was looking at all the different packages, I was looking for something originally in the middle of the strip, maybe like a Flamingo where I stayed before, and they were like for a 3-night stay this weekend, Prime weekend, would have been all the fees around $900. I looked at the MGM Grand, I looked at Bellagio, even though I knew that was out of my range. I looked at the Kingpin Suite, I think at the Palm, which was $15,000 a night, a little out of my range. I looked at a lot of different places, and I kept going back to the Luxor. They were around 700. Then this girl got me the promotion, and I ended up getting like 600 for the whole stay. That includes all the fees.
Awesome.
It's close to the arena, which is my dad. So the day of the expo, I'm going to that. He's not. He's going to be back at the hotel, relax a little bit, and then I'll meet him over at the T-Mobile.
Cool. Yeah. Do you have a rental car or anything? Or are you cabbing it?
No, because we're literally right next to the T-Mobile, which is like literally a 5-minute walk. And I'm just like, if they don't want to like go up and down the strip, I will. You know.
Right.
Well, I mean, I have no problem walking to go to the convention center. I'm just going to walk over to the MGM Grand, which is a couple blocks away, and just grab the train.
So watch out for those people trying to hand you cards. Don't take them.
Yeah, I grab all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're driving, the best parking garage, it's right in the middle of the strip, is Cosmopolitan. I mean, I used to love going to that place. I kind of had to go there for the boxing match when I first got out there. That was the one boxing match that I got into. Yeah, the best parking garage. Always open spots, and right in the middle of the strip, perfect area. You can go both ways. Like one side down the strip to the Stratosphere, one side down the strip to the Luxor. So yeah, or you can hit everything from there, basically.
So, yeah, my itinerary is kind of like this. We'll get out there tomorrow, land around 11 o'clock local time. Touch around, get to the hotel. Even if we can't check in for a while, you leave your bag there. Meander around a little bit. After we check in, I'm going to the New York casino, to the Coyote Ugly bar, which is like kind of like a play off the movie where girls get up and they do the line dance and all the bar and everything. Well, the one girl that does that is an old friend of mine from the Phillies ballpark.
Nice.
So she actually, she asked, even though she moved to Vegas a couple years ago, would fly home a lot of times for the home opener and work that game at the one bar attached to the park. And I've known her for over 4 years now, or 3 or 4 years. I've seen her a half dozen times. She has never seen me out of customs.
Awesome.
Crazy. And actually, one time you guys saw a photo of her, because that one photo I sent you, when it was me, her, and Joey Giardello's granddaughter. We were all three of us together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good.
Yeah. So I'll see her tomorrow night, hang out there for a little bit. Get up Saturday morning, like Dad's gonna putz around at the hotel. I'm gonna shoot at the convention center. Probably like between 10 and 1, I'll hang over there for a little bit, try to get some photos. Like I said, I don't know if there are going to be charges for each individual table. If there is, I look at it like this. So some of the guys charging for photos. I'm not for autographs. I lose them half the time anyway. I'm a photo guy. I like to get my photo with people, especially I could put them on in my gym and stuff. So if I can get a few photos out there, great. And say even if I was doing it, say it's $20 a pop, I pick out 5 or 6 guys and I drop like 100 or so. How quickly would I have dropped that in a casino anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so, and then I'll meet him back at the T-Mobile. We'll go into the fight round 1 something. Card starts at 2 local time. Pay-per-view starts at 6 local time. That'll end close to 10, 11 o'clock. He'll probably head back to the hotel. I'll probably God knows where. And then Sunday, I'm going to try to hit the pool for a little bit. Hit an Elvis shot.
You should have invites to like 17 after parties after you go to the Box Fan Expo, because it'd just be amazing everybody with all your boxing knowledge.
That's a good idea. That's why I like you. You're always thinking.
I wish I could go. I never took advantage of those things when I was out there because I was trying to stay hidden in a lot of respects.
Right.
It was not a good idea for me to be out there waving my flag, even fighting something.
You know what's funny? It's like, I've gotten to know so many people like the local area. Like, to me, being me, and Tom seeing me at a fight card, and Rick, you've seen me at March Madness dedication, usually just the way I am. And there were times, like, I'll be coming home from Philly's game, like the other day, went down the game, and I'm sitting there in full tire, and my phone starts blowing up. Text message, Facebook message, whatever. So I just put my hand up and start waving at nobody, because I know what it is. You know, won't keep me. Yeah, sure, hi, I know. And when I'm coming home, I had to stop and get something to eat. I walked right into the grocery store, full costume, I don't care. Mm-hmm. And, you know, up here, they're used to it. Now I go to another place, a local pharmacy, and I play the lottery there sometimes. And one young girl, we're seeing her one day, she goes, "You're really famous." I'm like, "Well, infamous, maybe." And every time I'll joke with her, and which I told her about how we started doing this show together. I said, because of a fighter that I met in a boxing chat room, shared an article with me written about him, I recognized the author's name because I may was going to fight him that year, and I was scouting him. And I just recognized the name and remembered it, and then we talked about a mutual opponent who happened to be named Michael Jordan. and the next thing I know, it's like we're using this opportunity to meet different people. You know, you've helped introduce me to so many people. I got you in with the Martian thing, and we both benefited from it. And then I'm like, you know, I'm like, how you told me about this Fan Expo thing, and I'm looking at the list of guys, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm definitely going this. And I'm showing this girl the picture. I'm like, look at the list of guys for there last year. And I pulled up the Andre Ward one. I'm like, you see him? She's like, yeah. Then I pulled up the screenshot of Creed 2 with me.
Unfortunately, Mike Tyson will be too busy selling marijuana to be there, but he was there last year, I believe.
I thought he was there last year. I'm a little upset he's not going to be this year. I thought Mike would be all into seeing me.
Well, actually, if he's in Vegas, I believe it was the Cinco de Mayo weekend when I was there that I got my autograph. So he might be doing an autographing thing, but you're going to have to pay like $350 for that. That has gone up. But yeah. And then they try to give you this little dinky glove. I went out and got the nice Muhammad Ali Signature Series glove for him to sign. That was fun. It's a good time. It was extra for the picture, too.
Yeah, with me, I'm a photo guy. So, you know, like even last year when I went to, or 2 years ago when I went to meet Burt Young, I ended up getting the combo package, and I think they actually put me down with the combo package by mistake. I don't even think I paid for the autograph, and I still got it. But, like, I went there, and it was like, I'm like, I just want a photo. You know, even last year, up at the past way, I went to the one Reading Phillies game, and King Kong Bundy was there, part of the reason I went, because I was watching him. And he was like, "Oh, you want to autograph?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I don't even know where it is right now. You know? But I sure know where my photos with him are. I'm a photo guy, you know, because, hey, it's like you could sign an autograph and say, "Hey, tell me here's an autograph of Mike Tyson for you." Okay? I mean, I know no different, right?
Well, that's the thing. Nowadays they actually will authenticate something if you have a photo with the person.
Right.
So.
Well, you know what? It's funny. It was like, I go down to Florida every year, and I go to a bunch of these games, and I didn't see him this year, but there was always this one young guy, and he would always go into the game as soon as the doors would open when the teams were doing batting practice. And he would park himself right above the berm area, which is in the outfield, and he would just try to catch batting practice home run. Hey, that's what you want to do. Go ahead. I mean, I've gotten two of them in my 12 years there. And one of them rolled to me, and one of them was actually handed to me. They're like, "Hey, Tom," one of the bartenders, a friend of mine, told me, "Here, Tom, take this ball home." I'm like, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, you know, I have no interest in that. You know, it is what it is. But what I would find out later, they're like, because then I would never stay for the game. He'd pay his $12 to get in, shag as many balls as he could. You know, as he was like chasing kids out of the way, and, you know, trying to get these, you know, home run balls from batting practice. Not even a game home run. But then I heard he was trying to pass off signatures on them. I can't prove that. It just was told to me.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not an autograph guy. I lose half of them anyway, unless it's something sheet for me. It was to Tony, whatever, Randall Tex Cobb.
Nice.
That's framed in my gym. You know, I got some autograph fight photos, but for the most part, I'm a photo guy. I want a photo with the person.
Well, whatever you do, make sure you book Vinny for another show, because we got a lot of drama to talk about. He's been through a lot of shit. We need to talk about it. You know, we don't need to talk about it all, but, you know, we need to be like, hey, buddy, hopefully things are working out for you, man. Well, let's talk boxing. Get your mind off it.
So my friend was like, my friend Mike was like, oh, can you get him to, you know, maybe sign something for Dominic? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure I can get him to pull something up. Then Mike thinks, when Dominic gets older, I want to bring him up to Rhode Island. Can you get the chance like me to introduce Dominic? And I'm like, first of all, your son's 2 right now, so he wouldn't care.
This is really for you, isn't it? Right? That's what you think.
Rhode Island, we'll do a road. That is like the guy that gets more into himself right now.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, yeah.
Like, you know, my friend, I'm going to end with this. You know, my friend of 36 years told me last week.
What's that?
He looked me in the eye, and he said, I think there's something seriously wrong with you. He has known me for 36 years. You think he would have figured that shit out by now? Did this the statement of disbelief was, I was going over there, bringing dinner over for, you know, him and his wife, and, well, I guess technically the baby, and another friend was going to be there. So he calls me up, and he goes, what time are you coming over? I said, well, it was around 4 o'clock. He calls me up. I said, listen, I'm going downstairs to work out. I'm literally about to wrap my hands, and I'm going to go work out, and then I'll shower. I'll call you when I'm picking up the food. I said, okay. And he goes, oh, what are you going to do tonight? Well, I said, I'm going to do a boxing workout tonight. I'm going to wrap my hands. I'm going to do 5 rounds of shadow boxing and 10 rounds on the bag. You sure you do 10 rounds on the bag? I'm like, well, I always do 10 rounds on the bag. That's standard for me. Oh, really? Okay, fine. So I went out there, and I made the mistake of putting a neoprene suit on, which gets the sweat going for one, but it fits you like almost like one of like scuba suits, like a wetsuit almost, and it's real tight. Well, it restricts your breathing. In a way, you should work harder because you can't get the full breath of oxygen in.
Right.
So now I'm doing the shadow box. I'm really pumping the sweat out. Now I start on the bag. Around the 5th round, I really started feeling it. I'm like, holy shit, I still got 5 rounds to go. Around the 6th or 7th round, I'm like, I actually felt a little woozy. In the 8th round, it crosses my mind, you know, Tone, you could maybe just say this is your last round and finish the last 2 rounds shadow boxing. And as I'm hitting on the bag and on that voice was in my ear saying, you're going to quit after you said you're doing 10, and then you're going to go tonight, look your friend in the eye, and face your 2-year-old godson, knowing that you didn't do what you said you were going to do, and it forced me to go the whole 10. When it was done, I damn near fainted, and I couldn't breathe. I'm like, I think I'm going to die. When I saw him that night, I said, yeah, and he goes, I'm on my face to work. I'm like, and I told him, just like I told you guys, he goes, is something wrong with you? And I'm like, why? He goes, you really think I would give a shit if you didn't do the 10 rounds? And you really think that 2-year-old sleeping child right there would really care? He doesn't care. I'm like, but I do. I'm like, I couldn't face you guys tonight if I didn't do it. He's like, you've been hit too many times.
You've been watching Creed 2 too many times. Well, while you're out in Vegas, if you have time, I do have a couple suggestions. Number 1, the Stratosphere. Now, you don't have to go and stay there.
I went there,
but if you can get a ticket to the top, just to take pictures, you don't have to ride the rides or whatever, but it is awesome to take pictures.
Oh, no, ride. Oh, hell no, I don't like
It's a great place to take pictures. It's also, if you want to unload $100 for a meal minimum, the spinning restaurant they have there. I took a girl there one vacation period I took while I was out there, and it was like $47 for the cheapest thing, but it was a damn good piece of meat. And the atmosphere is the big thing that they're selling. They're not really selling the value of the food. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And free stuff. The best free thing to do is go see the Lions at the MGM Grand. If they have them out in the enclosure that they have there, it's like all behind plexiglass, and they got the whole family, the Cubs and everything. And it's cool to go see. And I'm not a big Cirque du Soleil fan, but I got dragged to one of those shows, and I thought it sucked. But and then the Stratosphere also is the only casino that I've seen on the Strip or anywhere in Vegas that will deal blackjack with just one single deck at a time. So that's another thing to think about if you play blackjack. I don't know if they still do. That was years ago. But yeah, food for thought.
Oh.
That's all I got. So good luck out there.
I'm excited. You know, I really am. This kind of helped me a few weeks ago when I was kind of like down in the dumps a little bit. You know, just gave me something to look forward to. I got through April, you know, so I came bursting into May, and you know, we're here. We're here. And
well, enjoy the trip, Tony.
Thank you. I'm bringing this old school relic, aka a camera, with me, so I can get some really good, clear, zoomed-in fight photos.
Awesome. Well, make sure you get plenty of selfies. You might have to buy a selfie stick with all these fighters at the expo, too.
And you know me, I've never two things that I didn't like: a camera or a microphone.
Yeah, and I don't know if you should even try stopping by the Pawn Stars place if you're into that stuff, because I know from a fact from driving around there, there's always a line out the door. So you literally, like, I think I gave you the idea of going out there with your Marciano program dressed as the Apollo Creed Phillies thing. Yeah. But you'd be waiting for 6 hours. Unless they really did have the camera crew that day. And they'd be like, all right, buddy, you're coming right in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's one of the things I definitely was like, oh, I should have done that when I was out in Vegas. Didn't get around to it. But anyway, have fun, and we expect a big full report on the next show.
Oh, we'll go, absolutely.
And tonight, we will have that probably within the hour, for sure, on FightNewsUnlimited.com, big analysis.
Page and all that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link, and we will post it up on Facebook. And you tell those Box Fan Expo people that they better be nice to you, because you have clout in this business. Yeah. You should be like, listen, you don't know how famous I am. You guys should have given me 9 press passes for all my friends. And a VIP suite.
All these fighters here should be paying to be me.
Yeah. He's handing out autographed copies of Creed everywhere.
Yeah, right.
All right, till next week.
All right, John.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Enjoy the fight.
Adios.
See you later.